out. You don't have all the answers. You don't understand yourself, and you're trying to figure out your own self. You meet other like-minded individuals that maybe are feeling the same thing, going through the same thing. So you get together and jam, and you end up making music, and maybe you have inspirations from other bands of things that you like a little bit, but the concept is you're telling your story. And you know, in this day and age of digital everything, and like pre-recorded, and like pre-written statements, contrived
Mm-hmm.
statements where everything is thought through and went through a million times, I try to go in the opposite direction, in the sense of being true to myself. Like when I wrote the words to this album, I made a deal with myself before the Sharpie hit the paper. You know what, man? Let's make this as real as it can be. And if you're going to do that, then you're not allowed to go back and self edit. So, like, if you think something and you write it down, if it's good enough in your head to write it down because that's the thought you're having, then leave it alone after you write it down, and then go on to the next line and the next line and the next line. And when you make it to the end of the song, you're not allowed to go back to the top
Sure.
and rethink this deal and go, well, maybe that doesn't sound as cool. Or maybe if I took this word out, or maybe if I did this, because that to me would be like not as honest,
Sure.
because the first thought that came to my mind is how I was feeling. And now, true, sometimes I might be writing the words to this and write something down, and while I'm listening to the next part, I kind of look down and read what I wrote and think, you know, what the hell is that supposed to mean?
Sure.
Like what is this supposed to be?
Mm-hmm.
In context to the rest of the song. But I'd have to fight those urges, because it's kind of like if you were making a new dish of food or something, and you're experimenting and you're chucking different things in there. At first it might not seem to make sense of why you're throwing that ghost pepper in there, but then the next thing you know, once you got the whole thing done, you can go back and look at it, and then it starts to make sense, because I'm a
Right.
firm believer that a lot of things that go on within us all human beings is that our subconscious is this it's this area where the real truth
Mm-hmm.
exists, because the subconscious is not what you're wearing on your sleeve when you walk into a store or when you walk into a social setting or something like that. The subconscious is like your id. It's like this thing inside of you, how you really feel, what you really think.
Mm-hmm.
And because we all have to relate to each other, in the sense of rubbing up against each other, you know, even the most stay true to yourself person, when you are alone, you're feeling one way. When you get around other people and your words are being said, most people choose them wisely
Right.
because they want to come off the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're writing a album, or if you're writing a film or a film score or whatever it be, um you really shouldn't per se choose your words wisely, because some of your faults and your frailties and things that are ugly, maybe things that are uncool, those ideas that you think about and toss around, like how can you how can you show injustice if you don't speak about things that are really ugly, for
Mm-hmm.
instance?
No, you're
uh
right.
Nobody wants to hear uh challenging ugly things. They always want to hear the bright side of things or whatever, something uplifting. And I feel a record should be a more like an accurate representation of the human